can one learn how to manifest?
Well, you don't have to learn how to manifest because you're always manifesting. You're always manifesting something. And by having an experience like you are now, you're manifesting. So nobody needs to learn how to. They just need to change their definitions and their beliefs about what is possible in their lives. And through that, then they can harmonise with realities that they prefer.
Interesting. So it's all about alignment, ultimately, realising, understanding.
Yeah, it's alignment through what you believe to be true, what you believe to be possible, what you expect to happen, and the meaning in which you give something will ultimately affect the outcome of that thing. So just in the same way as when you look in a mirror, reality is exactly the same as that. So it's a reflection of your state of being. So if you're looking in the mirror and you're making an angry face, then the mirror is going to reflect an angry face. And if you try and go up to the mirror and try and change the mirror to a happy face, what's going to happen?
It just won't work.
It's not going to work. So a lot of the problems that people face in their life is due to trying to change the mirror, and they don't realise that they just need to change themselves, and then all of a sudden the image in the mirror changes.
Powerful.
And their life changes, because their life is a reflection of themselves.
Wow.
And so when you understand reality to function in that way, then you always see things in the best way that serves you, and you always label things and give meaning to things in a positive way that serves you, because you know by doing that the universe has to abide to that. The universe will always support you in anything that you believe, no matter what it is. And the only reason something wouldn't manifest is because you have another belief, like a sub-belief, that is linked to the core belief, that is blocking your access to that reality. Because on some level you don't believe it to be possible.
How is that the case though?
Because through your parents, maybe they had beliefs about things and what was possible, and that was impressed upon you. Or society had beliefs about what was possible, and that was impressed upon you. And you took on those beliefs, and you took them on as your own. And then you believed those things to be true. And therefore you were shown that they were true, because it was reflected back to you.
Interesting. That is so deep.
Well, it's the nature of reality.
It's straight, it's so direct, it's so obvious.
It's obvious when you see it from that perspective. And then when you apply it as well, it becomes even more obvious, because it's reflected back to you almost instantaneously. And so just in the same way as you turn your frown to a smile and the mirror reflects back a smile, you can do that in your life in the same way, through the definitions and beliefs that you have about what's going to happen to you, what's possible for you, the limitations for you. What beliefs do you have about what's possible? What beliefs do you have about the limits that which you can reach? And as soon as you change those beliefs and definitions, then you unblock those beliefs that are limiting you and are keeping you where you are.
So interesting. And the way you see things as well is on such a level that is so worldly. It's like you see things on such a mass scale, on a worldwide level, that you can assess things and see the way in which people, you can see the causality of like how things have come to be in our society, in our world today.
Yeah.
So that's what's formed your perspective of like understanding the root of it.
Yeah,
more.
because a lot of the factors that influence people's ability to align with wealth, align with happiness, to align with things that are simple and easy as opposed to complicated, all of these things are impressed upon society through programming, through subconscious programming, through TV, films, radio, every form of media that they control. They influence the world on that level to keep them locked in a certain way of thinking and viewing themselves and what's possible for them.
It's powerful. It's like, it is powerful on such a level when you understand it like that. Because it's so true, the way in which the West is. Everyone has a TV and a radio and a phone.
Yeah, almost everyone is susceptible to the programming.
Yeah.
And it's
There's no way to escape it unless you don't have these devices.
Well, if you see the world through this perspective, then you can cut through the subconscious programming. And you shine the light on it because you see through it and you say, I don't buy into that. I don't believe that.
It becomes hysterical then. It becomes like you can just see things for what they are.
You see things for what they are and you don't buy into the same viewpoint as the main lead in the TV show or the main lead in the film. You don't associate and you don't resonate with those beliefs and those viewpoints anymore because you know that it doesn't serve you. Because it's ultimately a limiting belief that's been orchestrated and created to limit people deliberately. And that's the sole purpose of media in this world, is to control. That is the sole purpose of all the media, all the films, all the TV, all the music. The number one reason that it exists is for control. It's not for what you believe it to be. It's not for entertainment.
And that even goes to the lengths of what we consume on a like our overall level as well, like the food, the products we put on ourselves, that we find in supermarkets, the drink that we consume, like alcohol, like these things limit a soul on so many levels as a human. Like,
and those things are being propagated by the system. So through the media and through TV and films, they're promoting these things, and then people are aligning with those things and then doing those things, using those things in their own life.
Because they're thinking that it's good because everyone else is.
Exactly.
It's so crazy.
So there's many levels to the programming, but it's easy enough to see through and to avoid and to not be susceptible to. It's like, if you know how a magic trick is done, can you be fooled by that magic trick?
No.
Is there any way that you could be fooled by it if you know the ins and outs of it?
It's like,
there's no way.
Woo, like
So as soon as you know how things operate and how things function, especially in regards to the controlling aspects of the programming of consciousness in this world, then you can't be susceptible to it because immediately you see what it is for what it is. You see through it straight away, and you know what the agenda is behind it, and therefore it can't be applied to you, and it doesn't affect you because you shine the light on it. Belief and the definitions that we give to things is everything, because that affects the outcome of those things. And as you analyze your beliefs on certain things, you can feel and you can use your feeling as a compass to know whether you're believing things that serve you and whether there is a belief, an underlying belief that is blocking you from accessing wealth, or blocking you from accessing your soulmate or your dream partner, or whatever it may be. And as you analyze these questions that you ask yourself, then you can use your feeling as a compass to know whether you have a belief that doesn't serve you about that particular thing. So you can start very general, and you can ask a very general question, like, do you believe that you can access abundance? And then you can say, do you believe that this is a possibility for you? And when you're asking these general questions, they're easy to believe, they're easy to find the answer to. And as you drill down with more precise and more specific questions, then you'll get to the root of these underlying beliefs that are blocking these alignments in your reality.
Yeah, and you'll find that these are as well experiences that you had along your journey as a child that were so significant that they changed the course of your journey, that they actually altered your perception,
it set a definition that didn't serve you, that's stayed with you.
Yeah.
And by analysing these beliefs and the underlining beliefs, the sub-beliefs, and the sub-sub-beliefs, and the sub-sub-sub-beliefs, by analysing these beliefs, you can work out, okay, what am I believing that is blocking me from accessing what I truly desire?
Yeah.
And as soon as you shine the light of consciousness on it, it doesn't make any sense for you to believe it anymore, because it's not a subconscious thing anymore, it's a conscious thing, and it's brought to the surface, and it's presented to you, and it says, do you want to believe this? And then you say, no, I don't want to believe that, because why would I want to believe that if I knew truly that by believing it is blocking my access to what I say that I want?
Yeah, but how is that presented to you? Is that because it's innately you? Like it's an integral part of consciousness that we are able to remember and to surface these emotions, surface these experiences?
Well, it requires
when it says
work.
Presented to you, it's not like you give me something, but you can reveal it in someone. But how does that come to be?
Through asking questions.
But knowing that there's also a higher power, or would you not even necessarily attach to that in what it is that you're able to reveal in someone? It's that everyone has that ability to do so themselves.
It's fundamentally linked to the mechanics of reality. Because what you believe will be, and the universe will always support you in whatever you believe, no matter what it is, because that is the function of reality. That is how reality functions on the deepest level. And so if you say that you want abundance but you haven't accessed it, then there is some underlying belief that you have that is stopping you from accessing it.
Yeah. And it's your job, it's the work for you to figure out what that actually is.
Yeah, you have to shine the light of consciousness on it.
Yeah.
It has to be a conscious thing that you focus upon to then re-evaluate and to recalibrate and to see it in a way that serves you, and to drop any beliefs that you may have bought into that came from wherever. You know, your parents may have had that belief, and that was impressed upon you through the way in which those things happen, which is usually through communication and on a psychic level, just in the same way as a baby will grow up to have the same fears as its mother, because it was conscious on some level at some point when the mother was frightened of a spider, and that event was impressed upon the baby through being in the same room and witnessing it, and on a psychic level, and was imprinted upon that consciousness. And in that same way, beliefs can be imprinted about
Absolutely.
what is possible and what is not.
Absolutely. And I even would go to the lengths as well, what I've experienced within ayahuasca ceremonies and events. I've seen first-hand experience of people having a detox of ancestral emotions. Like, it's not something that happened in this lifetime, it was something that happened to the ancestors that have come and surfaced in themselves because it's genetic. Like, it's been passed through their genetics. Like, it's actually something that maybe on a genetic level, like, their ancestors experience some level of like toxins that have then been passed on in them, that then has been released in their physical being. But whether that's true,
there is a deep connection on that level, but in some cases those individuals aren't qualified to know what the specific cause was of that particular thing. So,
but it's more of a feeling. Like, I know we aren't qualified truly to discern, but when you see it in these ceremonies, from what I've experienced, it's like it does feel like there's some, even in what I've experienced, I've had to process things that not even my parents and my grandfather wasn't made aware of, like, or they knew of, because it was stuff that I had to see and witness and be like, okay, this isn't where I say no to. This is where I say this is where it stops with me, and that's what I've had to do. So I feel on some level, like my first-hand experience of it, I feel there's some level of experience where I'm able to discern it on some level, but maybe not to the degree where you can go, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a mixture of things, and you know, someone might apply a reason that might not be the actual reason to why that particular thing is so.
Yeah, because it could be many things.
Yeah, and it's very easy to just say, okay, it was my, you know, past life, it was this or that, but maybe it was something that happened when you were a child and you weren't fully conscious of it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's not to rule out the connection on this deeper level as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's something to be conscious of, because not everyone has that qualification to be able to discern, okay, it's exactly this.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where you can create this illusion. What would it be more of though? Is it an illusion or like this?
Well, reality is an illusion.
More what I'm trying to get to is, to be truly certain of something where you then discredit other possibilities.
Well, it comes through a deep knowing and building that ability to have that knowing and to be able to feel into things and be able to sense what it is, and to have done that many times and to be trained in that particular skill of being able to do that level of discernment.
It takes a lot of certain qualities, certain skills, in terms of like humility, in terms of openness, acceptance. In my experience, I've had to work on those types of qualities to be like, to then consider multiple angles and not just like believe this one thing to be true. But when you weigh up certain things, it's like, I see it now.
Yeah, ultimately it's something that's within consciousness. It's something that's been impressed upon consciousness, and it's something that's within consciousness that doesn't serve consciousness, and therefore can be reprogrammed.
Is that ego?
What?
Is that how the ego has been, as we know it in our world, it's been engineered? Would you say that's part of the egoic mind, and how people have this certainty about life and they walk through life with this certainty, with this blindness in their way of being egoic, and actually that could be a detriment to their life, because it's like they might not know how like they say they play with fire, they might not know that the fire or the pan gets too hot or something, these kind of things, like, because their ego is like, no, it's fine, it's okay, I know what it is, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a reflection of someone's state of being, you know, if they believe that they know how things function and they know how everything is, then they will believe that until they're proven otherwise, and then they will have to reevaluate and be like, okay, wait a sec, I got it all wrong, and this isn't how it functions, and this isn't how it is, and okay, maybe I need to rethink my life now.